You are listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show, Orange County's business talk show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.
Hello, and yes, you are listening to Orange County's longest running business talk show, and I am your host. And do we have a good show planned for you today? Why do you ask? Because Chris Simonsen is our guest. He is the CEO of Orangewood Foundation. Chris, welcome to the program.
I'm grateful to be here, Rick.
Let's start with your journey. Talk to us about how you decided to join Orangewood and the kind of progression of your career since you did.
Sure. Yeah, it's fairly non-traditional, I'd say. My background is finance and accounting, and so I started my career with Ernst & Young and progressed along that path, worked at a couple of companies, and then was at AAA running some of their accounting operations here in Costa Mesa. And got promoted through the ranks there, became an executive, and then ultimately became the CFO of AAA of Southern California. And, it was the kind of storybook career, that I was envisioning for myself in finance, but just wasn't a real great fit for me personally. And even though I was making a lot of money and had a lot of challenges and responsibilities that I enjoyed, something wasn't right. So one day I got a letter on my desk about a nonprofit needing a CFO. And I figured, well, this must be a sign that I should look into this. So I came to Orangewood Foundation, never heard of the organization, didn't know anything about foster care or homelessness, really, but loved the people, loved the mission. And of course, they were asking, why are you here? You're at this humongous company, AAA. We're this small nonprofit, but I just loved what they stood for. They had this great idea to build a charter school to help foster youth get through school, and I thought that would be exciting. So I took a leap of faith, took the job about 17 years ago.
Wow.
As the CFO, and I did that for about 6 or so years, and then the CEO left, and I became the CEO about 10, 11 years ago.
So much has changed over those years, I'm sure, and we're going to talk about that here today on the program. Could you update us on the mission, vision for the organization? You touched a little bit on what Orangewood is about, but could you go a little bit deeper and help us understand the mission?
Yeah, sure. So our mission is really to strive for equity for the youth that we serve and support the life that they envision for themselves. And we want all youth to thrive in our community. That's really the vision that we have. Orangewood Foundation started way back in the 80s with General William Lyon rallying the community to help the county build an emergency shelter for foster youth. And that project took about 5 years. And when it was completed, they turned the shelter over to the county, and the county's been operating that shelter to this day. But Orangewood Foundation continued on trying to figure out different ways to support young people, especially those that were coming out of foster care with very little support from family or anyone else. And so different programs were created over the next 3 decades. And about 10 years ago, we really decided we didn't want to label the young people that we were serving anymore. Like any young person in need could come to Orangewood Foundation and get services. So now we do a lot of work with homeless young adults. We also work with survivors of human trafficking. And still a large number of the young people we serve spent time in the foster care system as well.
Living in sunny Southern California, beautiful Orange County, home of Disneyland, the happiest place on earth, I think people maybe outside of the county, and even maybe some inside the county, don't appreciate the need that exists in our county. And you talked about human trafficking. I think people aren't really aware of how prevalent that is here in our county.
Yeah, unfortunately, because we are a tourist destination, that is something that goes on. It's not evident as you're driving around on the streets necessarily, right, which maybe is the way it was portrayed with prostitution back in, 30, 40 years ago. A lot of it's done over the internet and places like that. So it is a problem in our community. And there's a lot of organizations like us, along with the county and others, that are trying to combat that issue and also work with the young people that escaped that form of slavery and help them reestablish their lives and help them get back on their feet.
So over the time that you've been the CEO, it really sounds that Orangewood Foundation has been able to expand the mission and deliver more services to the people in need here in our county. Is that true?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I got here, we had about 45 employees back in 2007, I guess it would be. And, we had a handful of programs and a few things we did with the county. But yeah, now we have over 225 employees. We have a 7 through 12 charter school, public school that we serve about 800 students every year. We've created new housing programs, a new workforce development program, a drop-in center for survivors of human trafficking, and just a number of other things. So we're always looking to fill needs in the community where we can, where we have expertise. Our sweet spot is serving teens and young adults. That's what we do really well. Our staff are excellent at building the relationships you need to have with those young people to get them to trust you and then take advantage of your programs and services and work alongside you. So yeah, we've done a lot over the last 10 years, especially, and we're just starting a strategic planning process right now. And it's going to be a very ambitious plan for us to even do more where we can and partner with others to help tackle some of these big issues that we have in our county, like homelessness and others.
I like to ask entrepreneurs and leaders of organizations, over the arc of the organization's existence, was there ever a time, Chris, where Orangewood Foundation, you felt that maybe it was at risk, or at least it was a perilous time for the organization?
Yeah, that happened about a year after I started. So the big
Welcome
recession,
to the company, huh?
Yeah. I would like to say it wasn't my fault, but the big recession of 2008, 2009, 2010 impacted us dramatically. At the time, over 85% of our revenue was coming from private donations, and there were large donor companies in the mortgage space and the home building space that either went out of business or stopped contributing altogether or reduced their contributions dramatically, as did just individuals and others. So our revenue was going down dramatically. The need from our youth was going up dramatically. So we had very little in reserves at that time as well. So we had to take some drastic action and freeze our salaries for 3 years. We had to lay off some staff. We had to make some other adjustments. And, we were scraping to get by for a couple years. We had core supporters that were always there for us, but it was just a very challenging time for everyone. So eventually around 2011, we kind of got stable and started coming out of that. And then right away we said, okay, well, let's go build a school. So that was when we bought a piece of land and started the project to build our public charter school, Samueli Academy. And ever since then, we haven't really looked back, and we've continued to grow and expand. And now we're very strong financially and are doing a lot for a lot of young people.
Yes, you are. But you're still not without your challenges, right? Even though so I'm wondering, key challenge you're facing and what you and the executive team and the others there at Orangewood are doing about it?
Yeah, I'd say our biggest challenge is not much different than other organizations in Orange County and in any big city, is really housing and housing affordability. And, we have, hundreds of young adults that need housing. They're experiencing homelessness. They're visiting our drop-in resource center on a very regular, almost daily basis in some cases. And, we live in a very expensive county. And so finding them jobs that will provide livable wages so that they can afford rent is a challenge. Now, there are some great government programs providing, housing vouchers for people like our young adults. And there is one that was created about 5 years ago specifically for former foster youth. So that's been a great new resource for us, but we need landlords that are willing to accept those vouchers or work with us to house our young people. The other two, I guess, big needs we have that are non-monetary, we have a new workforce development program called the Lyon Workforce Academy, named after our founder, General William Lyon.
Sure.
And we need corporate partners that have a need for entry-level employees to partner up with us so we can work together to employ our young adults. These are typically young people that haven't attended college and got a college degree, but we've got a lot of great corporate partners that are putting them in trade jobs and other corporate positions, and they're thriving. So we want to expand that network. And I guess our other need is we have a very unique program for teenage foster youth that go to our school, Samueli Academy. We have an on-campus dorm, and the young people lived in the dorm during the week, and then we place them with foster families on the weekends and during the breaks. So unlike regular foster care, which is a 24/7 commitment, this is a shared collaborative foster care model. And we're providing a lot of support during the school year, Monday through Friday, to support those foster parents and the student. And then on the weekends, they're enjoying their time with the young person. And so we need more people to step up and play an important role in these kids' lives. It is one of the most impactful things you could do to be a foster parent for a young person.
So do people need to live near the school here in Orange County? How does that work, Chris?
Well, our school's in Santa Ana, so pretty centrally located, and you do not need to live near the school because really you're only coming to pick up your young person on a Friday afternoon, and then you drop them back off on Sunday night. So you just need to make a couple trips up to the school. We have foster parents that live down in South Orange County, and it's worked out great for them.
And when people consider this, what type of commitment beyond the weekend type of thing, and then when the school's closed, how long of a commitment are they signing up for, et cetera?
Yeah, there's no length of time. I mean, we want people to give it a good chance to be successful. So we wouldn't want them, to make it a very short-term thing. We have had numerous foster parents that are on their third year with one of our young people. And typically when they turn 18, then you have the option to say, hey, they can continue living with us. This is going great. Or, we can transition them off into some other independent living situation. But most of our foster parents have had very stable relationships and strong relationships that they've built with our youth. And they're going on, 2-3 years as their foster parents.
Wow. And we're going to talk about how people can learn more and get involved with Orangewood here a little bit later. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, just stay with us for a little bit longer, and Chris will tell you how to find out more about that program. I also wanted to come back on the entry-level employment program that you have with Orange County companies. You use the term corporate, but I'm also wondering, SMB, privately held employers, and maybe the trades, et cetera, are they also targets for?
Yeah. Anybody that needs entry-level employees, we partner with other nonprofits like Goodwill Industries is one of our partners, and the trades are perfect. We've got several great trade partners. Olson Construction is loving the young people that we've placed with them, and there's many others. So we're looking to give our young people more choices because it's a full interview process, and we're not just placing a stranger with a company. They get to select who they want to interview, and vice versa. Our young people go and shadow the company for a few hours and decide kind of what companies interest them that they want to apply to.
I think that's fantastic because to break the cycle, you gotta do something different, and having a job and learning a trade or learning a profession is a great way out of what was your previous life. I believe that's
Yeah, I mean, that's why we created this program. We were getting our young people jobs, but they were more hourly jobs in
Mhm.
retail or food service. And we want to get them on a sustainable career track that has a lot of growth potential so they can live on their own and be self-sufficient.
Yeah. And as you said earlier, Chris, Orange County is not an inexpensive place to live.
Right.
Even rents are high, let
Yep.
alone home ownership, condos, whatever. And so having a career like that in a trade that has earning potential over time is fantastic. So let's talk about your ambassador luncheon that's coming up. We're doing the show live here in July, but that's in October. I think it's on the 11th. But tell me about that event and maybe who could come and what's the purpose, etc.
Yeah, so every year, this is kind of our signature event. It's called our Ambassador Luncheon, and we recognize those that have supported us throughout the year, and it's really in some ways it's an invitation-only event for our supporters that have been significant contributors to us. But that being said, we're always looking to develop new relationships. So anyone that wants to become a sponsor of the event and learn more about Orangewood, obviously they would be able to attend the event as well. And we look for our current donors and ambassadors to invite new people to join them at the event to learn about Orangewood and the work we're doing so that they can potentially get involved. So typically we have about 300 to 400 people there, and it's a really nice event. This year's event, we're going to be focusing. Our theme is around collaboration and working together with other nonprofits in the community in like a network nonprofit model that we aspire to do. And so, yeah, it's going to be a great event. We'd love to have anyone that wants to participate, be a sponsor. You can go on our website and there's all the information there. And it's Friday, October 11th.
There you go. So in a minute, we're going to be giving how you find out more about Orangewood. But before we get there, I wonder if you might share a little bit about your view of the term servant leadership. What does that term mean to you, Chris?
Well, that's really my leadership philosophy that I've adopted over the last 15 years. It wasn't really something I experienced previously working at other companies, but then I was working with I'll call it a coach, and he turned me on to this concept of servant leadership, and it really just flips the script on what a CEO is. The workforce, the staff, they don't work for the CEO. The CEO serves the youth, in our case, and our staff. So really, those are my two primary responsibilities as our CEO, is to serve our youth and to serve our staff. And everything that I do every day should be working towards one or two of those principles, whether it's trying to bring in more resources so we can expand our programs and help more youth, or doing things that are going to allow us to professionally grow our staff and provide them more resources and training to enhance their experience as a member of our team. So I feel very strongly about this and try to practice it every day. And I think it's the right approach for all CEOs and leaders to take.
I'm wondering if that has ever been tested. You know, has the organization or situations ever tested your commitment to the concept of servant leadership?
You know, I don't think it's been tested necessarily, but people find it kind of surprising and strange, I guess, is
Okay.
the way I'd look
Yeah.
at it.
Right.
You know, every new person that starts at Orangewood Foundation goes through what we call our passport process, where they go around and meet with all the senior executives one-on-one. And it's amazing how many times I'll meet with a new staff person and they'll say, I didn't even ever talk to my CEO at my last company, or they didn't even know my name, or, I can't believe you're taking an hour out of your time to get to know me a little bit. And I think that's the least we can do, right? And so I just try to do the best I can every day to make sure Orangewood is a healthy, thriving place to work, and that we're having the biggest impact that we can on our community.
So you're leading by example, and I'm wondering at the C-suite level or the next level of leadership within Orangewood, are you seeing the concept of servant leadership become a more common practice?
Well, I think the leaders that we have, our leadership team is fantastic. It's the best team since I've been here, and I've been here quite a long time. And I think we're looking for those traits when we're recruiting people.
Sure.
We're not looking for people that are thinking as themselves being any better or higher than anyone else. Even though we have a hierarchy of an org structure, I tell our new employees, especially the ones in our program team who are really doing difficult work every day, I said, look, my duties and your duties, they aren't the same, but that doesn't mean I'm any better than you. Like we're all part of this team. And if we all do our jobs well, then we're going to have a great organization that's having a big impact. And frankly, the work you're doing with youth every day, where they might have a mental health crisis going on, or they need a job, or they're sleeping on the streets, that's a lot more important than some of the things that I'm doing to get ready for a board meeting, let's say. It's just putting things in perspective, because all of us here at Orangewood, we're all contributing to the mission. And like I said, if we all are committed to what we're doing and committed to what we're responsible for, then we're going to have a really good organization.
Yeah, that's nice to attempt to flatten the authority that's inherent in an organizational structure, because I think that releases a certain amount of energy and commitment from the workforce that may not be there in the more traditional command and control type of an organization. So I really wanted to give you time to talk about your belief in servant leadership, because it makes a lot of sense to me, frankly.
Yeah.
And I wish it were more common and not just a platitude that we hear from time to time, but actually a living, breathing, practicing way to lead organizations. Speaking of organizations, tell me what you see as the future. What's on? You said you're just about to embark on your next rev of the strategic plan. Tip your hand a little bit here and give us a sense for what you're planning on, Chris.
Yeah, well, we are really going to be pretty ambitious with our next strategic plan. In 2020, we did strategic planning, and it was very internally focused, just shoring up our internal organization, making sure that we had the right systems and processes in place to be able to measure the work we're doing, make sure we're doing the right type of work, getting a lot of data collection processes in place. We've done that. We're in a great spot there. So now it's time to start using that information that we're gathering and figuring out the best way to use our resources that we've accumulated over the last 10 years to tackle some of the big issues that our youth face. Number one on our list is just housing and expanding housing opportunities for our young people. And that might be through us doing our own work or partnering with others, but that's really our biggest need. And then we're also going to be trying to tap into underrepresented communities that we want to get more involved with Orangewood. So we're going to put some strategies around that. We're going to be doing some more advocacy work. And that could mean a lot of different things, but putting together a real strategy around, what are the things we want to advocate for on behalf of our youth? Who are the major individuals, entities, et cetera, that we want to get in front of to educate them about the work we're doing and the challenges our youth face. Yeah. And so, those are a few of the items we're talking about. Our board is meeting on Thursday to kind of give us a final review. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure it'll go well. I'm really enjoying our conversation. If someone would like to connect with you on LinkedIn and then also learn more about all the things that we've talked about and more with Orangewood Foundation, how do they find you on LinkedIn and how do they find Orangewood online?
Yeah, LinkedIn, I'm right there. I'm pretty easy to find. So just maybe drop me a note and let me know why you want to connect. As far as Orangewood, our website is orangewoodfoundation.org. You can go on there and learn about volunteer opportunities. We have lots of companies and groups of friends that like to come and cook in our kitchen where we serve meals to our young people. That's a very popular volunteer opportunity. More information about our ambassador luncheon is on our website as well. And then just the different programs we have. We can not do all this work ourselves, and we value all of the supporters that we have in whatever capacity they partner with us. And so we can always use more supporters and more members of the community figuring out how they can add some value to Orangewood Foundation and contribute.
I have a number of friends who have been involved with and supported Orangewood over the years. And one that's a big advocate for you is a friend of mine and a client, Mari Kurtz of OC Metals and Calpac Sheet Metal. She's leads with the heart as it relates to your organization and is very committed to helping expand your mission here in Orange County. So it's great to see those common connections between your organization and our community here. So
yeah, no, she's a great person. Just co-chaired our women's luncheon in May. So Mari is fantastic. Yes.
There you go. So I want to thank you. I know you're busy. You got a lot going on, and you gave us time here this afternoon to share the vision and mission and future for your organization. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
I appreciate being on the podcast with you, Rick, and hope to see you soon.
Okay. And thank you for the audience who's listened to the show and participated. You've been a part of Orange County's longest running business talk show, as I said at the top. If you're an Orange County nonprofit leader or you're an entrepreneur here in Orange County and you would like to share your story, as Chris just did, feel free to reach out to me. I'm Rick Franzi, RICFRANZI on LinkedIn. Let me know in a connection request if we're not connected, or send me a message on LinkedIn that you would like to be a guest. And between Haley, our producer, and myself, we'll be happy to have you on a future episode. Chris's show joins our catalog of over 1,500 shows of Orange County nonprofit leaders and entrepreneurs. We're always looking for more conversations to have with the community. And until the next time we have a chance to be together, I hope all of your decisions will move your organization in a positive direction.